This is Chris Shandek, and you're on CYInterview.com. Since actor Kellan Lutz blasted onto the scene in his role in the Twilight series, one could say his life has been nothing but crazy. In this profile with Kellan, which fans will get a chance to see another side of him away from all the Twilight talk, it includes a discussion of his passion for dogs, what's important to him when it comes to his career goals, and talking about his personal life and how the media covers it. His latest role is in Meskada, about a small town of people struggling to provide and survive. It comes out today in theaters in Los Angeles and on demand. How is the crazy life going?
Well, thank you for having me, Chris. How's the crazy life going? I like to think of my whole life as being quite crazy. I love living a crazy life, and I grew up being called Crazy Kellan, so I kind of just love life a little too much, and why not? But as far as just how busy I've been, it's great to be busy. I'd rather be busy than having not much to do. I kind of thrive on no sleep and multitasking. But I'm shooting Breaking Dawn right now. I'm in and out of Baton Rouge, and that movie's going great. And I've had a busy couple of years, really well planned and groomed projects that I've chosen, and I have a great team who has a great eye as far as, the path where I want my career to be. So, 2011 is going to be a really big year with Love, Winning Marriage coming out with Mandy Moore, The Killing Game, which I loved, a big action movie, kind of like my own Bourne type to speak, with Sam Jackson, and then Immortals comes out, and that was directed by Tarsem. I got to work with Mickey Rourke and Henry Cavill and Frida Pinto, Luke Evans, Isabel Lucas, just amazing actors and amazing directors and producers, and then that's when Breaking Dawn comes out too. So it's going to be a big, busy year, 2011, and I'm just really blessed. I'm really grateful.
Well, a lot of small towns have been hit hard by the latest U.S. recession. Meskada, that's where that comes in. Falls, a small community where things are for sure not financially easy on the families that live there. Some of the characters in the film are definitely willing to make illegal choices to make money. After being in this film, what are your thoughts on how small town America has been hit by the current U.S. recession?
Well, the thing that really drew me to this project is I've seen it firsthand. I grew up in parts of Iowa where you see the farming economy kind of digress, and you see the small town. I just went back to Iowa to visit my grandparents for 2 days, and they live in a small town, Pocahontas now, and there's one street light, there's one bar or two bars, one pizza parlor, one bowling alley, two theatered cinema. It's a small town, and when you hear stories, when you go to the local bars and you hear how people have to drive 200 miles to find a job or to work, and then they have to bid and drop their rates for farming just to farm and get other acres, you're in a place where that's all you can do, and that's all your town thrives on is farming in Iowa and agriculture. And then then I got to go up to the Catskills, and you see another group of small town people where when their jobs kind of take a hit, what more can you do? You have to drive hours away, you got to work longer shifts just to support your family, support yourself, and it's really tough to see, but it's really great to see the hope that these people have. And I don't know, it is kind of tragic, especially, a lot of people don't know what goes on. Living in LA, we complain about traffic, not, we don't worry about not having gas to put in our car or a tractor to farm, so then you have to go and pick the wheat by hand or the corn by hand. It's really eye-opening, and I'm glad, that's what really drew me to the movie, is I've had experiences with that in Iowa. So it's great to be a part of something where you can shine some light on some issues that maybe America or the world doesn't really take notice to.
I think you really summed up Meskada in a great way, and I think it's very timely again. So, thanks for the role, and then thanks for the great picture. We could say, the last how many years you've talked your mouth off about Twilight, obviously, and that's what everybody wants to hear about. But more so than anything else, what is one thing you might have never shared with the public about being part of this franchise from any perspective?
That I haven't shared with anyone?
Or maybe a perspective that's overlooked?
Well, it's definitely, it's a big machine. I'm very thankful for it. But it is really tough to feel like, you're just a small cog in the machine. And there's so many working pieces to it. And I love being busy. I love doing independent movies where, you're maybe more of a lead character, or you have more insight, and you have more say, and you get to work with the actors a little more, versus just having to sit in your trailer and, you kind of have to be there, and I'm kind of out of commission where I can't do other projects until April, and maybe I'm not working every day, or maybe I'm working one day a week, but you still have to be there. So I make the most out of it, but I definitely do miss, when you aren't working all the time, you have more time to miss the things back home, and it's really that's why I try and fly back on the weekends as much as I can to spend time with my dogs, because they're only getting older, and I'm going to live a long time, but my dogs' lives aren't as long as humans' lives, and it's one of those things where you do movies, and I love doing film over television, and I love traveling, and I love playing different characters, but I find myself being out of LA and away from my house 7 months out of a year. So it's really kind of, a tough thing to be away from your loved ones and my pets, who are they're really close to my heart, but thankfully I have amazing roommates who love them just as much as I do.
Did you have a chance to, by any chance, hear about the hero dog from Afghanistan that was put down by mistake a few weeks ago? Did you hear about that story?
No, what's that story?
I'll give you the quick story on this, and we were talking about this. We interviewed Sergeant Terry Young, who was the owner of Target. Target and 2 other dogs saved 50 soldiers from a suicide bomber in Afghanistan, and then was brought back to the United States to live with Sergeant Terry Young, got out of his yard, and by mistake was put down in an animal shelter. I wanted your thoughts on that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Was it just an overpopulation of pets in that shelter?
They had numerous dogs in the same different little kennel areas. Actually, this dog was also featured on Oprah last year. You can go take a look on it online, Target Dog, and you go to CYInterview.com. We've got comments from Mina Savari and Maya, the North Shore Animal League. Are you surprised about, the issues with, euthanasia in this country and, putting down dogs? Do you think this is an issue and a problem? This kind of stuff.
It's I can't wait to have a ranch in Denver, Colorado. That's where I really want to live. Have a ranch, have a family, and I want to adopt every animal I can, and just have a huge ranch where I can just have hundreds of dogs there, and I'll take care of them. I'll make sure it's all health, reserved, and they're a happy life. And then people can just adopt the dogs in a loving place, not in a cage place, but free to run and live, kind of like what's that? Old Yeller, or like the dogs on the range. It hurts. It's tough to see dogs being put down and any animal put down, or any animal cruelty, because they're here on earth for us. And when you put dogs down, there's got to be. Well, I still don't understand why there's places in even America that are full of green pastures that dogs can take care of themselves. They can hunt rats, or cats can hunt rats, or any animal can. I mean, the survival animals. Why couldn't we just find a state and have all the dogs and animals live happily, humans never kind of established places, type of thing, where it took away from environments. Just like when animals become extinct because of mankind. It's so crushing. Leonardo DiCaprio works great with the tigers and trying to preserve them. And I really look up to him and everything he does. And I just never understood why there's so many untouched areas. Why can't we just have the animals live there, and then if you want an animal, go find one? I had the best time going on a safari in Africa, where you see all these happy animals, humans haven't affected their kind of living arrangements, and you get to see them way more up close than any zoo. And I understand kids want to go see animals and stuff, and they can't afford to go to Africa and do a safari, but taking the animals out of their habitat, or destroying their habitat, what did they ever do to us?
Kellan, I would like to say, before we wrap up this conversation in a few minutes, thanks so much for coming by. Go to CYInterview.com and look at the Target Dog stories that we've done. And before we go, I would imagine you have to deal with a lot of things given the fact that the public is watching your every move. Given all the racing reports in the news media that have been based pretty much on perception and not fact, I'd like to give you a chance to clear up whatever relationship you have with Anna Lynn McCord.
You know, we're not gonna talk about that.
She is a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart.
Is it hard though? Just simply, is it hard? Everyone's following your.
I don't look at. People can write whatever they want to write, and I don't look at that stuff. My friends know me for who I am, and you know they don't bite into that stuff. And it's really funny the people who aren't close to you who will read reports and anything like that, and. You know, I just don't give them the time of day, because if you don't know who I am or what I'm doing with my life, then, you know, you obviously aren't close to me, and I don't need to be close to everyone. So I have a really great group of friends who don't bite into that stuff, and, you know, to each their own. But, yeah, like you said, gossip is gossip, and, you know, there's barely any truth to anything.
Well, I appreciate you giving a perspective on that, because we run these interviews on the record in their entirety, and we do not print gossip, so I always appreciate a chance when a celeb can come by and say anything about any of that. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Kellan. What are you doing for the holidays, quickly?
Did Thanksgiving with my father, doing Christmas with my mother in Arizona.
Have a good one.
Thank you, buddy. Take care.
For CYInterview.com, I'm Chris Yandek.